Good morning, guys, and I wanted to talk through some of the things, one thing from yesterday and kind of what we're going to be doing today. Now, yesterday we started reading Ball Hawk. Okay, you should have read pages 405 to 408. Okay, and did your annotations and whatnot in the book. Like I did on the first page when I highlighted it, which is the annotate, and then I answered the question, and then going all the way to 408. Now, I want to talk about a question that's in the book that is not an orange question, and I want you to copy this along with me and kind of work with me through this. So we are going to go to paragraph 21 and 24. All right. So, the words of the wiser, which is a notice and note question, it says that the words of the wiser is when you notice a wiser character giving advice about life to the main character. You found a words of the wiser signpost. So I'm just gonna scroll it a little bit. So the question is here. It's also on your book on 408, this blue question. Okay, so we have in paragraph 21, highlight Uncle Tommy's comment to Mitchell, then circle the later paragraph that explains the meaning of that comment. Okay, so we have, we'll read it here. Indians invented baseball, Uncle Tommy said again. We were sitting at the very top of the stands where we had a great view of the high peaks that were beginning to turn red in the setting April sun. I knew I had to get back to his place and check on the Hawks before dark, but he wasn't making a move to stand up, so I stayed put. My uniform was in my bag, but I had pulled my glove out and was punching my left fist into it. I looked up at him, ready to smile if I saw him grinning, but his face was serious. You know what I mean? He said. Well, I did. I heard the whole rap before that there were no team sports in Europe before those early explorers stumbled into the New World and found Indians playing all kinds of team games from lacrosse to basketball. Rubber balls were invented by Indians. But I didn't say anything. I just pounded my glove a little harder. So, looking at, here it is. So looking at the question where it says, what is the comment that he makes to Mitchell? We see that comment he makes to Mitchell is, come on, Indians invented baseball. Here we go. Okay, Indians invented baseball. Now the second part of the question is asking, it says then circle the later paragraph that explains, that explains the meaning of that comment. So, that later paragraph that we see is number 24, where he said he had heard it all before, that there wasn't any team sports in Europe until they saw Indians playing all these types of games. Then, underneath that, there's a question, and it says analyze. What is the life lesson that Uncle Tommy is trying to give Mitchell? Okay, so the question is over here, but I can't scroll now that I circled, so we're just gonna write it over here. So the question is, what is the life lesson? what is Uncle Tommy trying to show to Mitchell? Well, he is, by pulling on this history of how Indians invented baseball and invented all these games, let's think about where Mitchell's at right now. He is so frustrated that he can't get good at that he isn't good at baseball, right? In the previous section, we saw that there was a suspenseful moment where he's like trying and he sees his mom holding the can of soda, I think, and you know, he sees the pitcher being like, easy out, right? So he's frustrated, right? He's like having a really hard time here. And here Uncle Tommy seems to be pushing him to not give up, right? So what Uncle Tommy is trying to tell Mitchell is that baseball is part of Mitchell's heritage. Okay, it's part of who he is, part of his background and something, and not only is it something that is in his heritage, it's something that he should not give up on. So baseball is a part of Mitchell's heritage. And he should not give up playing, even though it's hard. Okay? So in this moment, we're up here, he's saying a comment, and Mitchell ends up explaining it for him, because I'm sure he's heard this so many times. And what is this life lesson that Uncle Tommy's trying to teach? He's trying to show him that baseball is part of his heritage and that he should not give up playing even though it's been really hard for him. So, I wanted to make sure we touched on that as we talked about last Friday, how his ethnicity and his heritage is really, really important to the story. And how these characters interact with one another and how they handle this conflict, okay? So, what we're gonna do is you finished reading on 408, which is this page right here with this blue question that we just answered, okay? So what you are going to do is you are going to continue reading from 409, 410, answer the questions there, 411, and 412, okay? Making sure that you read the whole of this page as it is the ending, although there are no questions on there, okay? So I want you to keep going, keep reading, keep annotating, and when you are done, what you're gonna do is you're going to, again, take your pictures. You don't have to take a picture of 408 again. But go ahead and take your pictures of 109 and beyond, whichever page has questions, okay? And go ahead and take those pictures and put them onto the assignment for today, and then we'll go from there. All right, I hope you have a great day, guys. Bye.